Hey guys, well, Shopify has done something really, really bold. They've now gone out, the CEO of Shopify has now gone out and said that staffers need to prove that their jobs cannot be done by AI before asking for more headcount. Now, this is a really, really, really bold move by the Shopify company as more and more tech companies are starting to move and pivot to more AI centric development workflows. It really goes to show where we're at in the AI race at the moment. But is it a smart decision to go out and do this just yet? I'm going to go ahead and talk about it in today's video. Let's get right into it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start off with this article by CNBC. Shopify CEO says staffers need to prove that jobs can't be done by AI before asking for more headcount. So the Shopify CEO, Tobi, I hope I'm pronouncing that name right, told employees in a memo that they'll have to show that the jobs can't be done by artificial intelligence before asking for more headcount and resources. And the CEO also said that there is a fundamental expectation that employees are using AI in their day-to-day work. Admittedly, this is actually quite common already. Basically, any programmer is using AI as a sidekick nowadays. That's kind of how that's just how this goes right now. Now, AI hasn't completely replaced human programmers, not entirely, and I'll get into that in a minute. But for what it's worth, human programmers 9 times out of 10 are using AI as a sort of sidekick nowadays because it is a genuinely useful resource, especially when it comes down to research. So, Shopify CEO is changing the company's approach. Companies will be expected to prove why they cannot get what they want done using AI before asking for more headcount. So, the CEO wrote a memo to staffers that he also went ahead and posted on X, formerly Twitter, on Monday. And I'm going to go ahead and pull this up for you now because I honestly think it is quite interesting. So, we're going to go ahead and read the memo itself. So, this is the CEO of Shopify. Reflexive AI usage is now a baseline expectation at Shopify. And he also added some context. He was saying that this is a Shopify internal memo that I shared here because it was in the process of being leaked and in parentheses, presumably shown in bad faith. So we're going to read what the man has to say here. Team, we're entering a time where more merchants and entrepreneurs could be created than any other in history. We often talk about bringing down the complexity curve to allow more people to choose this as a career. Each step along the entrepreneurial path is rife with decisions requiring skill, judgment, and knowledge. Having AI alongside the journey and increasingly doing not just the consultation, but also doing the work for our merchants is a mind-blowing step function change here. Our task here at Shopify is to make our software unquestionably the best canvas on which to develop the best business of the future. We do this by keeping everyone cutting edge and bringing the best tools to bear so our merchants can be more successful than they themselves used to imagine. For that, we need to be absolutely ahead. So he's basically saying, we're expecting you to use AI now. Maybe you are already there and find this memo puzzling. In that case, you already use AI as a thought partner, deep researcher, critic, tutor, or pair programmer. I use it all the time, but even I only feel like I'm scratching the surface. It's the most rapid shift to how work is done that I've seen in my career, and I've been pretty clear about my enthusiasm for it. You've heard me talk about AI in weekly videos, podcasts, yada yada yada. Summit, which I'm presuming is their own like internal thing. Last summer, I used agents to create my talk, and he links to like a internal link that I'm not going to go to, and presented about that, and yada yada. Basically, he's saying, "Hey, I use AI a lot. I'm expecting you to use it too in your daily tasks as an employee of this company. I do full well expect you to use it." And basically, he's saying it is just an exception. It is an expectation of you to use AI. I don't necessarily blame him for saying it. It makes sense. We will add AI usage questions to our performance and peer review. Learning is self-directed, but share what you have learned. And this is the important one. Number 5, before asking for more headcount and resources, teams must demonstrate why they cannot get what they want done using AI. What would this area look like if autonomous AI agents were already part of a team? This question can lead to really fun discussions and projects. Basically, long story short, no more new hires until you can prove that a human is actually needed. Now, for when it comes down to programmers, does this mean that all programmers are going to be like secluded now? I don't necessarily think so. Coming from a programmer myself, and this is just my opinion, I don't know how this company operates. I can't fully speak for them. But what I would assume is that all things considered, AI is decent at programming, but generally still needs some kind of human guidance behind it. It can't just do things exactly for you. You still need to know how the code works, you still need to know how to debug it. So when you're doing more high scale projects like what Shopify is doing, because they are literally handling credit card transactions, you will still need human programmers because this is one area where the coding tends to be very advanced because you have to check for things like fraud and you got to provide an interface for the merchants and you got to process the transaction in a secure manner. There's a lot of variables going on. AI can help, but it can't do it all for you. You still need to be the human intervention and you still need to know how the code works. So I wouldn't necessarily say that they're like, going out and replacing all the human programmers with AI. That's not happening. And it probably won't for quite a long time. Even then, I'm sure there's still scenarios where even if AI gets exponentially better at programming, you're still going to want a human behind a screen looking at the code to make sure it's, kosher and, not like rife with errors. So I wouldn't say they're replacing everybody, but they're taking a pretty bold move here that, as far as I'm aware, no other company is really doing yet. And basically, they're saying if AI can do the task for us, we don't really need to pay the human to do it. And admittedly, I don't necessarily blame them for taking the direction they're taking. All things considered, AI is cheap, it's easy, and for certain small scale tasks, it does work. It can definitely be a good companion alongside programmers, but I wouldn't say it's a full replacement yet. And I don't necessarily think that's what they're aiming for either. Now, admittedly, that could be what they're aiming for. I'm not sure. I highly doubt it, but if they are aiming for a complete replacement, as of right now, I don't think that's exactly a good decision because, again, in my opinion, from what I've seen of the AI industry and what I've done with AI myself, it's not good enough to fully replace a human programmer, at least with more advanced tasks. If you're making a basic boilerplate like website or something more small scale, it's not that big of a deal. Like if you're doing something really like smaller scale, like making like a small little e-commerce website to like, sell pet toys or something, that's not that big of a deal and that can be done with AI quite easily. But when it comes down to something like Shopify, you probably still want some human programmers backing it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you guys think about this, especially because, again, it is quite a bold move. I haven't seen many other companies go down this direction yet. So it's going to be interesting to see how, as AI evolves, what companies are going to do, especially with programmers, because that's where AI really excels, is in, well, programming. But yeah, that's about it for today's video. Like, comment, subscribe. Again, let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. I would love to hear you guys' opinions. Take care, you guys, and remember to stay safe out there.